When I was 8 years old, I really wanted to learn to play the guitar. And in my head at the time, I kind of wanted to be a singer slash songwriter slash guitarist, and the only thing standing between me and that was learning to play the guitar. And so my parents got me a guitar and sent me off to weekly guitar lessons. And a couple weeks later, I quit. You see, once I started attempting to play the guitar, I realized pretty quickly that it's actually a lot harder and more painful than it seems. So I'd be going to class a couple weeks in, expecting to, sing songs and play along and have a lot of fun with playing the guitar. But my teacher was adamant that I spend all my lessons and my time doing my homework practicing simple guitar chords. And it wasn't just 1 week, it was every week, over and over again. And he was adamant that I get really good at playing these chords before we move on to anything else, something I thought was a complete waste of time. And so I quit, because playing the guitar became a chore. It was something I found hard. It wasn't cool anymore. And I remember getting to the point where I actually broke all the strings of my guitar out of frustration, because I got to the point where I never wanted to touch the guitar again. And I didn't touch the guitar for around 6 years. And the next time I was touching the guitar was, I think, when I was 14 years old in high school. And if I remember correctly, there was a teacher in my class at the time who was running what was called a guitar club. And the point of the guitar club was to provide any student who wanted to learn to play the guitar the opportunity to do that, if they were happy to stay back after school. And I remember going to my teacher's guitar club one day, and I think it was out of complete curiosity. And everyone in the room had their guitars, and the first thing that our teacher was teaching us was the G chord. And that's typically the first chord that you teach people who are learning the guitar. And so we'd come up to each one of us, demonstrate how to play the G chord, show us where to put our fingers on the frets, show us how to strum, and then he'd ask us to have a go. And it was really interesting when he came up to me, because when he played the G chord, it sounded really great. Like he'd been doing it for years, he was confident, it sounded perfect. But when I played the G chord, although my fingers were in the exact same position as his, my guitar sounded absolutely hideous. And it wasn't just the fact that my technique was poorer than his. It was more the fact that when he played that one chord, he played it in such a way that created more emotion and feeling than when I did it. And I remember listening to him just play that one chord and thinking, I've never actually played the guitar that way. And it got me thinking, if I couldn't play at least one chord that was worth listening to, that had an impact, that connected with people in some way, then what was the point? Like, what's the point of music? What's the point of playing the guitar? And so from that point onwards, I focused on playing the guitar and learning to play 4 basic chords in the same way my teacher did, with intent. Like playing it with emotion, with conviction, with the desire to produce music that impacts other people. And you see, that's the key word here, or the key words, impacting other people. And that's not just true about music, that's true about everything. That's why we do what we do. And that sentence, stuck with me from my entire school life, because I'd be doing an oral presentation in class and I'd realize that it didn't matter how academically accurate the script for my presentation was if I couldn't say it and communicate it in a way that resonated with my audience. It didn't matter if the short story I wrote for an assignment got good marks, if it was a short story that no actual person would want to read, because they wouldn't get anything out of it. Because when you realize that everything that we do has the potential to impact others in a positive way, you realize that there are 2 ways to do every occupation. You can be a teacher who just shows up to teach, do your job description, and just get paid. Or you could see your job actually as an opportunity to make the lives of your students better, to light up their day, to change them and inspire them in some way. You can be a doctor and interact with your patients and see it as work that needs to be done. Or you could see that as an opportunity to serve your patients with empathy. Or you could just be someone who serves coffee at a cafe and see your job as taking coffee from point A to point B. Or you could see that as an opportunity to bring a bit of joy in the life of your customers. I guess what I'm trying to say with all this is, with everything that we do, there's 2 ways to do it. You can play a guitar by just strumming the strings. Or you can play that guitar in a way that seeks to move someone else and impact them for the better. And I think that's something all of us can learn to do better. Because maybe those things we see as jobs or things we have to do are actually opportunities we can use to serve other people. And so what I'm trying to say with all of this is let's start making a difference with everything we do. And when I say that, I'm not just saying that to you, I'm saying that to me as well. For me, this YouTube channel is an opportunity I have to show up and make a difference and to impact people in a small but meaningful way. And it's something that, I honestly need to get, better and consistent at. And maybe a good start is actually by showing up again next week. Yeah, and making some music. Metaphorically, of course. Unless, of course, you guys want a music lesson, which can be arranged, but that's another video. But that's it for today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next week.